Well, speaking of the board, let's bring in a board member. We want to welcome Bill Gates. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in.
You've just quadrupled the IQ of the panel.
Yeah, and I've more than doubled the price here, you know, the value of the billionaires. You're now the richest man. You're the second.
Poor second.
A poor second. A year ago we sat here and we called this the $120 billion interview. With market conditions, what are we at like now, 35 bucks? I mean,
I'm not sure. I probably got a couple hundred on me.
Bill, let's talk about this ConocoPhillips thing, because your role at Berkshire...
You were not supposed to tell them about that.
Well, your role at Berkshire is to find out what's going on, what this guy is doing with the money. And when he does write a multi-billion-dollar ticket, for example, is there any number, any price of something that he's buying where he does have to check with you?
Basically, no.
I want that deal.
The role of the board is to make sure the CEO is doing a good job. And in Warren's case, that doesn't involve looking at individual deals in any way, shape, or form. So it's fun to be on a board where the CEO is so amazing.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, fiduciary duty, we're talking about you looking at the things that he does. If you felt that Warren was going down a path you thought was dangerous for Berkshire, would you say so? And how would you say so?
Well, I'd certainly say so, but I don't think that the idea of the interests of the shareholder and the CEO being aligned, it's not stronger than in any company other than Berkshire, because Warren's net worth, Warren's life, every minute of his thinking is about making sure that Berkshire is going to be a strong, profitable company no matter what comes along. And, that's why the results have been so amazing, and we're there to encourage. And Warren asks our advice from time to time. He's nice about that. He has his secretary send us email on a regular basis.
Christmas cards.
Absolutely.
Box of candy.
Yeah, but God forbid he pay you more to be on the board.
Well, $900. We
$900 bucks.
$900.
And they can spend it any way they want.
But
at Berkshire companies.
Of course. But you still don't reimburse for travel for the board members, right?
I don't know. We'll have to check that.
No, not in my case.
Bill, you guys are so different in so many ways. When you see Warren charging around, riding bulls, playing the ukulele, what must you think? You're a much more lower-key person.
Well, I'm deeply jealous. If I could play the ukulele like he did, I'd be pulling it out. It's a hit.
But
he can play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, because I taught him about it when Jennifer was little.
Oh, that's impressive. We'll have to get you to do that.
He learned it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this
we
guy's
went on a trip, and everyone had to entertain one night, and he brought ukuleles for everyone and taught us how to chord the ukulele.
And how'd you do?
Just so-so.
His daughter slept much better after that.
Bill, what can't you believe Warren does out there when he goes on the floor and when he talks to shareholders? Certain things you look and you say, Warren, getting on a bull, I mean...
Well, as long as it's safe. And we both got to drive the electric car. That was fun. That seemed pretty safe. Warren's patience for autographs and pictures is a good lesson for me.
Yeah, you're mobbed as well, I'm sure.
A bit, and I'm trying to be as enjoy it as much as Warren does.
You guys play bridge. You're competitive in that regard, but what do you argue? I shouldn't say argue. What do you debate over most? What are the topics that you love to get into an intellectual discourse about?
Well, I'd say the economy today is so fascinating to discuss. What's going on with different companies? Why do these things that appear irrational come up? Where is it all headed? This is one of the most interesting periods in capitalism, certainly the most interesting in my business lifetime. And so, calling up Warren and saying, hey, did you see this? And, what do you think about that? It's more fun than ever.
Warren?
It really is. I mean, it has a lot of unpleasant consequences for a lot of people. I don't mean to make light of that, but it is a terrific movie. And watching it, it's something. I mean, if you're kind of a student of business and investments and all of that sort of thing, this is an interesting period. Like I say, that's not good news for somebody who lost their job.
When the economy was bleakest, what were you saying to each other?
We were talking about, is the government doing the right thing? And, looking at some very strong companies who had been reliant on short-term funding. The idea that these money market funds, somehow the most panicky money around, because that's individuals who don't expect to lose anything, that had become a key underpinning of just financing business on a regular basis. And so this panic, actually, that almost disappeared. Thank goodness the government, stepped in and took care of that piece of the thing. It's fascinating. We had some mistakes in the design that when you got into a negative cycle, there were things that were self-reinforcing that went much further than even very smart people expected.
But we're not letting companies fail. Have you talked about that among yourselves, that certain companies have been propped up? Let's just pick the auto industry, for example, a General Motors or a Chrysler filled with taxpayer money right now to float it. In this American society, isn't failure a good thing? Shouldn't we let companies fail?
The stockholders have failed there. I mean, the owners basically have lost virtually everything, whether it's in Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae or the